Hey, friends! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast with your host, Nicole
and Hannah. Come join us for some hopeful conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing.
Hey, Hallmarkies! We're back for another episode. My wonderful co-host Hannah wasn't able to make it today, but I'm joined by my friend Chad from the Great American Chat podcast to talk about the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries original movie, Unexpected Grace, starring Michael Rady and Erica Durance.
Yay.
This was a great movie. What were your first thoughts on this movie?
My first thoughts was I needed more Kleenex because I cried through some of it.
Yeah.
And I usually don't cry at home in Hallmark movies, but I did
this one got me too. Yeah. And before we get started, I have to give a little shout out to the director who did a fantastic job, Linda Lisa Hayter. And the Postables know her because she directed The Vows We Have Made.
Right. Yep.
She is a great director.
Yeah, I was wondering if you caught on to who directed this. Yeah.
Yes, I did. To start off the movie, we see Noelle and her daughter Antonia, or Tony, at a local coffee shop, and it is 2 years before, but we don't know this at the time. They talk about the wishing well. Tony wants to make a wish with a quarter. I love the line from Tony when they are talking about inflation, and she says, "It's called inflation, Mom." And she's referring to how a wish used to cost a penny.
And then that joke is brought back at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when Noelle says it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tony starts talking about her wishes. One nickel was for things to get better between her mom and dad, and then the other was to find a best friend her own age. Her mom suggests she could be her friend.
Yeah, and you know what? She made a mistake. She told her mom what she wished for. You never tell people what you wish for, because then it won't come true.
Yeah, that's true. Not throwing a coin in a wishing well kind of wish, but it's kind of funny. Every Thanksgiving, I think, my dad and I have a tradition of breaking the wishbone, I guess.
Wishbone, yeah, and the turkey, yeah.
And sometimes he'll ask me what my wish is, and I'll be like, "I'm not telling you." Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, this opening scene, I like this opening scene.
Yeah.
And because, well, one reason is because I could really identify with Tony. Because when I was growing up, I never had a best friend either.
Aww.
So I kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Sympathized with her, or felt what she was feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can sympathize a little bit and relate to her in some ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I had friends when I was in school growing up.
Yeah, but did you have a best friend that you like talked to every day and called and messaged every day and were really close?
No, not that I can remember. I just had a good group of friends. Yeah. Before we go on to the next scene, I have to mention the comeback joke from Noelle about inflation with the balloon and the snort from Tony.
Oh, yeah.
And Noelle writing the note and quoting Shakespeare's Sonnet 30.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She wrote, that's right. Noelle wrote that on the note.
Shakespeare comes up a lot in this movie.
Yeah. Well, doesn't she teach Shakespeare at the college, right?
She's an English professor, so yes.
Okay.
We get a time jump to present day, and we see Grace and her dad, Jack, before she leaves for school. I love how he included a cupcake with her lunch because she loves cupcakes.
Oh,
And
that's right. And we find out later that Tony also liked cupcakes.
yes, we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
They just recently moved to town. He is a single father and he meets a neighbor, Audrey.
Yeah. Now, speaking about moving to town, did they say where this movie takes place?
Not that I can remember, but I
Because-
do know later on he got a job offer in Portland.
Yeah, he got the job offer in Portland, so
Yeah.
it must take place in Oregon, I'm guessing, but it doesn't say what city, so you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
it's
know.
somewhere, yeah, I don't know, somewhere near Portland must be.
Yeah. It would
But-
have to be.
But they never say exactly where.
Yeah.
I
it
was
would-
confused a little bit about that. Yeah.
Me too. I would guess it is somewhere in the Pacific
Yeah.
Northwest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to talk about this.
What?
Jack and Noelle's somewhat meet cute in the parking
Oh,
lot.
yeah. Yeah. They were trying to get the same parking spot, weren't they, or
Parking
something like
spot.
that?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they had like three meet cutes in this movie.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, then they have one when she's out jogging.
Jogging.
Then they have
Yes.
another one when he goes to her house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Which we'll talk about both of those a little bit.
Yeah.
We find out that Grace loves basketball and she used to play at her old school. And then it cuts to her in class, science class to be exact. And she is talking to her lab partner, Liv. They unfortunately received a C- on their science project. And Liv is not too happy about that.
Yeah, Liv was not a very nice person.
Mm-mm. I have some thoughts.
And then she said right in front of the teacher, "I want a new lab partner."
I was about to get
was
to
like,
that.
Man, someone needs to smack that girl.
Let's just talk about that for a moment.
No, she says it right in front of the whole class.
I love Mr. Brown's response to Liv wanting a new partner. He says, "Sorry, in the real world, you can't always choose who you work with, so neither can you." Roasted.
Roasted.
We see Grace and Maya, who is her only friend at school and her peer tutor, at lunch. Grace offers half of her PB&J since she hasn't eaten. I also love how Grace mentions that a PB&J is one of the only 4 things her dad knows how to make. And we find out a couple other things he can make later on in the movie.
Oh, did she say 4 things?
Yes,
Oh,
she
she
says
does.
4. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah. We find out later he's good at something
Yes.
else too when they
Yes.
invite Noelle over for dinner.
Yes. The next scene, it cuts to Noelle at lunch with her friend Chris. And if I remember correctly, he is the psychology professor at the school. So that's
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
how she knows him. They work
Mhm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about how students are more interested in the social aspects than academics sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go on talking about Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, we don't know what happened to her.
Right.
I think it's later on that
Oh,
we
okay.
actually really find out what
Oh,
happened.
okay.
What did you think happened to her at this point in the movie? Did you think that maybe she had been living with her dad? Because I think we did know that Noelle and her husband were
Oh,
not really together.
no,
or-
I assumed she had passed away before this scene.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew as soon as they did the flash forward 2 years and Noelle, it just showed Noelle by herself. So I figured,
Yeah, I
Then-
figured that too.
yeah. But they never said in the movie what Tony died from, did they?
No, they just
Yeah.
said she
She
was
just said
sick.
she got sick and yeah, and died. That's
Yeah.
all they said. Yeah.
Noelle goes on to quote Shakespeare and she says, grief makes 1 hour 10.
Oh, wow. I didn't catch that one. Hmm.
Yeah. There were a couple moments in this scene I really loved, and it is when Grace returns home after school. She is looking through a box of old things, including a photo of her mom and her
Mhm.
mom's locket,
Mhm.
which she puts on.
Yep.
Her dad gets home and, he's concerned about her, of course, like a good dad should be. And I did love this line from Jack. He says, "What's so important that you just had to check your phone in the middle of our conversation? Look up and appreciate the world."
Oh yeah, that's right. That's when she looks up and finds the balloon, sees the balloon in
Yep.
the tree. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
That's when
right.
they find the
Yeah.
balloon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And they play a little game of horse before dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever play horse as a kid?
Oh yeah, I was terrible at it. What about you? Did you ever play basketball? I know you were a cheerleader. Did you play
I
basketball?
never played basketball. I did try
Okay.
out for
Oh,
basketball.
did you?
I didn't make it. You want to know the reason why?
I don't know. You're so tall. I can't figure out why you wouldn't make it.
At tryouts, I think it was in 6th grade, one of my classmates that was also trying out, she got knocked over, she fell on the ground, and I ran over to her and I was like, "Are you okay?" And I helped her up. And after tryouts, I think she might have called my mom and dad. I can't remember for sure. But the reason I didn't make the team is because the coach said I was too nice.
What? Really?
I'm serious.
You didn't make the team because you helped her up.
I'm actually being serious right now.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Cannot. But to answer your question about horse, yes, I have played, and I still play only when I'm on my mission trip at Salkehatchie
Oh, okay.
because during free time, sometimes there will be a group of us that will play horse.
And that trip's coming up in a couple of months, right?
Yes, fingers
Yeah,
crossed I get to go.
you must be looking forward to that. Yeah.
I am. I hope I'll get to go. I'm planning on it. I guess it's just a matter of saving up. Moving on and going back to the movie. This is another favorite father-daughter moment between Jack and Grace. And it's when they are having dinner at home and they're talking about the term boycott after he asks if she's doing that with her food. The term came from a man in the 1800s, Charles Cunningham Boycott.
Oh, really?
I guess.
Is that what they said in the movie?
Yeah, that's what they said in the
movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
This line from Jack made me laugh. He says, "I thought it came from a bunch of boys at sleepaway camp protesting their beds." Grace, the joke is kind of like this meal. Not your best effort, but not your worst. This is the funniest exchange of the scene. When Jack says, "I think brats are my first meal, yeah?" Grace, "I get it. Bratwurst."
Huh?
Oh my gosh.
What's he say? Brats are my what? Brats are my worst meal?
My first meal.
Oh, brats. Oh, I get it. First meal. And she says, oh, okay.
I get it.
You.
Bratwurst.
Bratwurst. I got you.
And then they go on talking about her struggles in school and making friends.
Mm-hmm.
And Audrey comes by and brings a welcome to the neighborhood pie.
Audrey. We got to talk about Audrey.
Yes. I actually liked her.
Mm-hmm. And she liked Jack.
Yes.
But Jack, well, he went out with her a couple times, but
Yeah.
he wasn't into her though.
Yeah. I did like how she took it. I thought that was very
Hmm.
kind of her, I guess. That's the
Yeah.
right way to say it. She took it
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah. I think did she end things because she saw the way he was looking at Noelle at that Shakespeare reading? Is that when she decided to
Maybe
end
they
things?
didn't
Yeah.
actually say, but we do
Yeah.
see a little bit later in the
Yeah.
movie that
Yeah.
Jack meets with her and they are walking down the street and
Hmm.
he calls off the trip to the flea market and she's like, "Look, I understand."
Oh, they were supposed to go to the flea market together?
Yeah. But he called it
Oh, okay.
off because it was something that Grace's mom liked to do and
Oh, that's right. That's right.
he didn't
That's
think it
right.
was right.
That's right. Yeah. And that actress that plays Audrey, I've seen her in other movies.
Yes, the first time I saw her, I think it was in, gosh, what movie was it in?
Yeah, I couldn't think of what movie she was in, but I know I've seen her.
I think it was in Another Cinderella Story with Drew Seeley and Selena Gomez.
Oh, okay.
I think she played one of the stepsisters.
Oh, all right.
I can't think of her name, but she's a great actress.
Mm-hmm.
After Audrey brings the pie, we see Grace taking out the trash, and she takes it upon herself to get the balloon from the tree with the rake. And then she goes up to her room and she looks at the cupcake balloon and she reads the note, which says, "Looking for a friend? You're not the only one. I've never had a pen pal, but you look like a good one to me. Write to me at the address below, Tony."
Mm-hmm. And so she does write to her.
Yes, she does write to her. And we mentioned this a little bit earlier on, but Noelle literally almost runs into Jack on her run
Mm-hmm.
when he has dropped her off at Noelle's house
Mm-hmm.
to give her the balloon, cupcake, and note.
Yeah. And she's standing right next to his car
Yeah.
and he's got his window down. I think the
Yep.
window was down and they kind of like said
Yeah.
hi or something.
Yeah, they recognize each other.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. Did they recognize each other from
I
the parking
think-
lot or not? I wasn't sure.
I think they did, maybe at least a little bit.
You think they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I couldn't tell.
Yeah. A little bit of a funny moment. Jack talking to Grace about going on a hike with Audrey. Now, this is after Grace has dropped off the basket with the balloon and the note and the cupcake. And Grace says, "You do whatever you want to do, Jack." And Jack says, "It's Dad."
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why'd she call him Jack? I couldn't figure that out.
That was kind of funny.
Was she mad at him or something? I can't remember.
I think
I
she
don't
was
know.
just kind of irritated because it seemed like to her they were getting into a relationship. And I guess she was worried,
Oh, okay.
because of
I
her
gotcha.
mom.
I
You know.
gotcha. I gotcha.
Grace receives an email from Noelle, and she then goes to watch part of the game with her dad. I also love, I think it was before she went to watch the game with her dad. She's trying to come up with a reply to Noelle. I love that. That is so me when I'm typing out a message. That is so me.
Well, what was she doing? She couldn't think of something to reply with?
She couldn't think of how to start it off. Like, I think at one point, Grace said something like, "Hey, girlfriends." And then she kind of backspaced that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just in general, that is like so me when I'm trying to write a message.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how do I start this? Backspace. Yeah, no, that doesn't sound right. Do it again.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. Noelle receives the next email from Grace. And I did love this scene as well. And I thought this was a great quote from Grace's reply. She says, "Do you ever feel like sometimes people can leave us at the absolute worst time, but then the right person can also show up at exactly the right time? That's how I felt when I saw the balloon. It's like you literally fell from the sky."
Oh, yeah, that was a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noelle was served papers for divorce. Dun, dun, dun. Even
Mhm.
though we kind of figured that was coming.
Yeah, now when that happened, at that point, I didn't know that she was like separated from her husband. I had no idea. I didn't, I, that, I saw the papers and I'm like, oh, okay, she must be separated. That's when I realized it.
Yeah, I figured they weren't on the best of terms, but I don't
Hmm.
think that I put the pieces together that they were
Yeah,
separated.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Yeah. Grace's first visit to Bean Around Books, which is a bookstore and a coffee shop. And she unofficially meets Owen because he brings her, I think, hot chocolate. I loved that little
Yeah.
exchange.
Yeah, Noelle tells her about that bookstore and tells her to go there.
Yes, she
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Yeah, so she
And
meets the kid there.
yeah, once Owen walks away, we see Grace receive the next message from Noelle. And part of Noelle's message says, "Shakespeare once said, 'What's past is prologue,' which to me means the present is exactly how it's meant to be because of the past." Another great line.
Yeah.
Shakespeare has some great quotes.
Yeah. Yeah. They pulled a few of them out for this movie.
Yeah. One of the best writers, in my opinion.
Oh, really? You like Shakespeare? Do you read Shakespeare?
I haven't read Shakespeare in a long time, but he's a great writer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or he
I don't,
was.
yeah,
Great writer. Yeah.
I don't understand anything he wrote, but
I don't understand a lot of what he wrote. I don't understand a lot of it, but
I know I had to read some of his stuff in school and I had no idea what I was reading.
he's still a great writer. I mean,
Yeah.
that's no question. I mean,
Yeah, but that's the way they wrote back
yeah.
then. So I
Yeah.
guess back then people understood it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the way they spoke and talked and everything.
Yeah. What of Shakespeare's have you read?
Let's see, Julius Caesar. I remember reading that in school. And then I was in a play a couple years ago. That was a Shakespeare play, so I had to read um some stuff for that play. Trying to think what else. I don't know.
I'm sure that I've read a couple Shakespeare plays.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Romeo and Juliet, of course.
Of course, I've read
Forgot about
Romeo
that.
and
Yeah,
Juliet. I
forgot
mean,
about that. Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
the
And then I've read parts of other things, like
yeah.
Midsummer's Dream.
I'm
I
pretty
read parts of that.
I'm pretty sure I've read at least part of that. I
Yeah.
know that when I was in school, I think maybe middle school or ninth grade before I transferred
Mm-hmm.
to where I graduated from, we went on a field trip to see Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I know I've read Romeo and Juliet, and there are a couple others, but I don't know off the top of my head which ones. If any of y'all have read any Shakespeare, let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear which ones you have read. Continuing on with our Shakespeare mentions in this movie, Jack and Grace have a conversation at home while she's doing the dishes. They talk about Noelle, and Jack mentions how Audrey wants to go to Sonnets Under the Stars. And as soon as Jack says that, Grace says that she wants to go too. So they go to Sonnets Under the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
And they listen to Noelle's reading from one of Shakespeare's sonnets. And Grace recognizes her name in the program. and
Mhm.
decides to send an email.
Yep.
And this is when things slowly start to come out and
Mhm.
unravel.
Mhm. Yeah. And Jack recognizes her
Yep.
from their other two meetings.
Yes. He immediately recognizes her. You can see it in his face when she comes
Mhm.
up on stage. We see Grace at the bookstore again, and she officially meets Owen, and they talk about comics. I loved that little exchange between them. I thought that was nice.
Mhm. Yeah.
Are you a comic book reader? I know I'm not.
I was when I was a kid, but not anymore.
I've
Not
hardly read
anymore.
any comics. Nope.
And you know what? You were talking about Owen there. I thought that Owen and Grace would become good friends, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah,
They
I
were
don't
just,
know.
yeah,
I would like to see another movie and see
yeah,
them become more of friends
yeah,
because we didn't get a whole lot of scenes with them.
yeah.
Noelle meets with Chris again, and she needs advice about what she should do regarding Grace.
Mm-hmm.
He tells her she should end it because he doesn't think it's healthy for either of them, even though she has good intentions. So Noelle sends an email to
Yeah, I didn't
end things.
understand why he told her that. What's wrong with those two talking? I
I,
didn't.
I don't know. I never really
Yeah,
understood that either.
I didn't get it either.
That was one issue I had with
Mm-hmm.
this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what's the problem with them
I
still being
know.
friends?
I know. Just sending emails occasionally,
Yeah.
know.
We already talked about it, but we know that Audrey had invited Jack and even Grace too to go to the standing flea market. Grace declines, and
Mm-hmm.
she's a little irritated once again because her dad and Audrey are spending time together.
Right.
Grace can tell Audrey wants to be more than friends with Jack, even though that's not what he wants.
Mhm.
Grace tells her dad he shouldn't lead her on. And, at this point, she had received the email from Noelle ending things.
Yeah.
And Grace says, okay, have fun at the flea market with your not girlfriend, Jack. I never thought I'd be the guy getting dating advice from his daughter. I love at the end of that scene how Jack lets Grace know he's there for her if she ever needs anything.
Mhm.
That was a nice little moment.
And Audrey never does go to the flea market with him, right?
Nope. Yep.
Yeah, they end things before
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah.
I think he's a good dad. He's trying his best.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Grace goes to Noelle's house and she meets her.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, she is asking if Tony is there. At this time, she still doesn't know what happened to Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Grace starts talking about her mom and her dad and how he takes her to breast cancer fundraisers. Grace says, helping others helps me feel close to her. He tries his best, but sometimes the girl just needs her mom.
Yeah, now in this scene, Grace tells Noelle that her mom passed away from breast cancer.
Yeah.
But Noelle is tight-lipped and doesn't say anything about Tony. She's not honest about what's going on, what happened with Tony. She just says, "Oh, Tony's not here." That's all she
Yeah.
says. She wouldn't tell her anything.
Yeah. Part of me wonders, we'll get to this later on with what happens at the very end, but part of me wonders if Tony also had some kind of cancer.
Oh,
I mean, they never
they
say, but
never say. Yeah,
part of me wonders.
yeah, but you'd think since Grace opened up to her and told her about her mom, you'd think that Noelle would have opened up to her and told her
Yeah.
about Tony.
Yeah, that was
That's what I was
one
thinking. Yeah,
other small issue I had. I mean, the
yeah,
movie was great.
yeah.
I loved the movie, but it had a couple little quirks
Mm-hmm.
to it.
Yeah.
There's a moment when Grace, asks where the restroom is, and her curiosity gets the best of her, and she goes into Tony's room and of course, Noelle finds her there.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yep.
a very nice room.
Yeah.
It reminded me of something I probably would have had when I was that age.
Yeah, she snuck into the room.
Yeah.
Although Noelle, she wasn't mad though. She didn't get angry or anything.
No,
She just said,
no.
what are you doing in here? Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back at home, Jack and Grace are in her room. Jack offers a cupcake and he talks about Audrey breaking up with herself in reference to not going to the flea market.
Oh, okay.
And then he offers to take Grace there
Right.
someday, which is
Right.
nice. Jumping forward a little bit, Jack has a meeting with Jerry, who he works with, and Jerry says there's a good chance they will lose their funding because the new governor is tightening the purse strings, which means no building.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later. I was confused about Jack's a contractor, right?
Yeah, he's a foreman.
Yeah. Okay, foreman. And I was confused about this whole thing, his job and losing his job and then getting offered another job. I was confused about that part of the story.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I don't know a lot of the
Yeah, like
construction talk.
what was this building that he was building that they were going to lose their funding for? I don't know what it was. I don't know what was going on there.
It is a science center on campus that they're building.
Oh, on Noelle's campus?
Yes, on the
Oh, so the college loses its funding, so they can't build it? Is that what happened?
yeah, I think pretty much
Oh,
that's what
okay.
happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what was going on. Okay.
Yeah.
I got
They
you.
were having issues with funding, I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
And we find that out in the next scene because Jack and Noelle meet for coffee. This cracked me up when
What?
Jack is reading the menu. The Hamlet omelet, the Macbeth and cheese, and the Julius Caesar salad.
Oh, was there Shakespeare stuff on the menu? I forgot that. Was there? Oh, it was a Shakespeare themed cafe.
Yeah, I think it was called
Oh,
the King Lear Bistro.
oh, okay. I missed all that. All right. Okay.
They don't say
That's
what the name
funny.
of the place is in that scene, but Noelle mentions it later on.
Oh, okay.
We also see in that scene that Noelle informs Jack about Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, from the time jump, we know that she died a little under 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Grace is the same age that Tony was when she passed.
Mm-hmm.
And Noelle says, when I read that letter, it was like my daughter reaching out to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is one of the moments that got me.
Mm-hmm. That was when the waterworks started.
Yep. We cut to Noelle at her house with Jack and Grace. Noelle lets Grace know that she can have anything of Tony's that she wants because I think what she's doing is she's kind of cleaning house a little bit, I guess is the term I would use. Noelle and Jack, they walk away and leave Grace in Tony's room. And Grace takes the denim jacket of Tony's.
Yes, that was nice that Noelle said to her, let her in the room and said, take whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite scenes between Jack and Noelle. Once they've left Grace in Tony's room,
Mm-hmm.
Jack says, is it too early for wine? Noelle says, I think it's exactly wine o'clock.
Wine o'clock.
Noelle and Tony had a running tally on who could make each other snort the worst. Noelle was ahead because Tony loved to laugh.
Mhm.
And that conversation kind of starts because of something Jack said to make Noelle laugh and snort at the same time. I do that sometimes, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know women who snort when they laugh. Yeah.
I don't do it intentionally, but sometimes it
Oh,
just
yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
The toast was priceless to snorts and groans. because Jack mentions how Grace is in the stage of groaning with some of the stuff he says.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where that came in. Jack talks about Grace and invites Noelle for dinner Friday night, and it is goulash night.
hmm
It is one of the other 4 foods that he knows how to make, according to Grace.
Right. Right. So far we know peanut butter jelly and goulash.
Yep. And brats, I think, is the other one. Maybe.
Oh, brats. Oh, was it?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
If
All
I
right.
interpreted that correctly,
Oh, okay. All
but I could be wrong.
right.
Have you ever had goulash? I don't think I have.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is
I
it
have.
is it any
I
good?
can't remember what's in it, but my mother used to make it,
Is it any good?
but I can't remember. I guess it was. I can't remember. It's been so many years that I don't remember what it was or what's in it. I forget.
I don't know that I've ever had it. I don't think so.
I can't remember. I don't know. It's got meat and noodles in it, maybe. I don't know. I forget.
I'll have to look it up and maybe try it. I mean, I'm pretty open to trying any kind of food.
Actually, I can look it up right now.
I was eating, I
Goulash.
think, oysters when I was 2.
A goulash is a soup or stew of meat and vegetables seasoned with paprika and other spices. Oh,
Yeah,
so there's no noodles in it.
I don't think I've had it.
So it's just meat, vegetables. That's all it is.
Sounds good.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to try it
Huh.
sometime. Yeah.
Oh no, well, I guess you can put noodles in it. There's some pictures here that have noodles in it. So
Yeah.
you can put noodles in it if you want to.
Like I just said a minute ago, I'll literally try any kind of food. I was eating, I think, oysters at 2 years old.
Oh, you were? 2?
2 or 4, I can't remember.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Now, do you like oysters today?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do?
Oh my gosh. We're going to get on an oyster rant for a second because I just have to. You know that I was recently in Pensacola for my birthday, where I saw our friend Casey. Hi, Casey, if you're watching. My mom, dad, brother, and I, before we left Pensacola that Saturday after my birthday, we went to a great little restaurant in the downtown area called the Pearl and Horn. Oh my gosh. Those oysters were some of the best oysters I have ever had. I'm not even joking.
Really?
Yes.
Aren't they slimy though?
Yeah, but they're still good. These oysters, I think they were cooked with, I think, Parmesan cheese on top of it. Oh my gosh.
So were you sucking them right out of the shell?
I mean, no, we had a fork and we were just.
You're supposed to suck them right out of the shell.
No, we didn't do
Oysters on the
that.
half shell.
No, we didn't do them. And they were huge. I'm not even
Were they?
joking. I mean, they weren't little, small, tiny oysters. They were huge. And they were Gulf oysters.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
So good. If you're ever in Pensacola, go to the Pearl and Horn.
Obviously they were fresh because they right by the Gulf there.
Yeah.
And do you also like shrimp?
Yes, I do.
I mean clams. I meant to say clams.
I think I've had clams. It's been a while, but yes, I do like them from what I can remember.
I think they're similar to oysters.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
But if you or any of y'all listening ever go to Pensacola, go to the Pearl and Horn.
The Pearl and Horn. All right.
Yeah. Really good. We got a little off track there once again. So going back to the movie, Jack meets Grace's teacher, Mr. Brown. He finds out she plays basketball and suggests she try out for the freshman girls team, which he coaches since they're down a guard. And of course, you know, he tells Jack that it might encourage her to bring her grades up a little because they have to have, I think, at least a C plus average to stay on the team, which is understandable. You need to keep your grades up if you're going to be in sports.
Yeah,
Cool.
there's always a grade requirement in
Yes.
school if you're an athlete.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I had one. I can't remember what it was, but it was probably around the same.
Well, wait, what sports did you play besides cheerleader?
I was on the
Cheerleading.
golf team.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're on the golf team. That's right. So was
Yeah.
I. That's right. That's right.
That's
Okay.
cool. I don't think you ever told me that. Maybe you did. I can't remember for sure.
Oh, I know I did.
You probably did, and I just can't remember.
I
But that's
played
cool.
golf in high school and college.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
fun game. It's a very relaxing
Oh yeah.
game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. It's frustrating, but it's fun.
Yeah.
You obviously must be better than me if it wasn't frustrating for you.
I haven't. Oh no, I had some times. I had some times. Even during matches, I would hit a bad shot and I would never lose my cool. I would never act like a bad sport, but
Mhm.
inside I would just be like,
Well, it's frustrating when you birdie one hole and then you get an 8 on the next hole.
yeah.
It's
In
like-
my mind, I would just be like, why?
I know. Yeah. Yeah. You like have 4 pars in a row and a birdie and then you take a 9. And it's like, oh, well, blew that round.
There were multiple times when I was in high school. I had great shots, and then they would be followed up by shots where I would be so off. Like I would be plus
Oh, yeah.
9.
Oh yeah. Yep. Or you have a great drive, and you're right in the middle of the fairway, and
Yeah.
you just completely blow your second shot.
Yep.
Second
It-
shot goes over the green into the bunker and you're toast, you know?
Yep. Or in the water.
Yeah, or in
Or
the
in the wa-
water. Yeah, you hit it fat into the water. Yeah. Yeah.
I loved this moment with Grace and Maya at lunch. Grace sees Owen, and Maya notices the little exchange. And once Owen walks away, she turns to Grace and she says, "Did that just happen? Owen barely talks to any girls." Grace, "He talks to me." Maya, "Unbelievable. Wait till Liv hears about this."
Yeah.
Yeah. This moment got me. And it is when Noelle meets Brian at her house. She has signed the divorce papers.
Oh yeah.
She lets him know she'll always be so grateful that he gave her Tony.
Hmm.
And then she gives Brian the stuffed panda.
Yeah, that's right. The panda. Yep.
Grace goes back to being around books, and she has another conversation with Owen. He knew and liked Tony.
Hmm.
Grace gives him a note she found in the pocket of the denim jacket. Tony liked
Mhm.
him too.
Yeah, he asked her to the prom. Owen asked,
Yeah, a school dance. Yeah.
or a school dance. Yeah. Yeah. And she circled yes on the note.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of George Strait's song, Check Yes or No.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah.
One of my favorite classic country songs. And by one of my favorite country artists of all time.
Oh, George Strait?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Love George Strait.
Did you ever see that movie he did? What was that movie?
Pure Country? Yes, I did.
Yeah, Pure Country. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I actually have the second one on DVD.
There was 2? There was a
Yeah, there were
second one?
2. The second one is really good too, and I believe it's on Hallmark Movies now. So if any of y'all haven't seen it, go check it out.
I didn't know there was a second one. The same cast? It's a sequel?
It's not the same cast except for George Strait.
Oh, really?
George Strait, I believe, does make a little cameo in that one.
Wait, but the redhead that he met in the first movie, they're not together in the second movie?
They don't show her,
Oh, okay. I got you.
but he makes a cameo.
Oh, he makes a cameo, but he's not the main character. Like he was in the
No,
first
he's not
two.
the main character.
Ah, okay.
I don't want to spoil it. You'll just have to go watch
So
it.
it must be a different cast then.
It
Okay,
is.
I got
It's
you.
a really good movie, though.
Really? All
It's
right.
called
I'll have to
Pure
look for
Country
it.
2, The
I'll have to,
Gift.
I'll have to look for it.
This is probably one of my top favorite comedic moments in this movie. And it is when Noelle has dinner with Jack and Grace. And, Noelle walks in and Grace says, "Dad, stop being so awkward." And then they have the comedy callbacks or jokes. Noelle says, "It's nice to see you again, Chardonnay." And then,
Mhm.
he mentions the comedy callbacks, and Noelle says in response, "Are you impressed or are you Jack?"
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Because earlier, I forget, there was another same type of joke like that earlier where they called
Yes.
each other some name. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
in the scene when Noelle said it's 1:00.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jack shares fun facts about goulash. He says, "Do you know why the Hungarians first made goulash? Because they were hungry." And Grace is just over there rolling her eyes like, that was so obvious. Oh. After they have finished dinner, they're sitting at the table, and Noelle suggests Jack open a goulash restaurant.
Hmm.
First, he says Jack's goulash garage. Then he says, "Ooh, Grace's goulash garage." Alliteration.
Hmm.
And then Noelle says something like the hungry Hungarian.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that was a nice little exchange.
Yeah.
And then Jack and Noelle have a little romantic moment, which I thought was nice.
Yeah. He touches her hair.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was really sweet.
Hmm.
Grace makes the basketball team, and she is so excited that she tells Noelle. And then she talks about meeting Owen. I love her dad's reaction. He's like,
Yeah, you want to know who that Owen was?
yes.
Yeah,
But
that's
then,
someone I don't know. Yeah.
of course, he allows her to go. And he
Hmm.
said, just for an hour.
Hmm.
Noelle and Grace talking about coincidence. Grace says, "Do you believe in coincidences, that they're random, or do you think everything has a reason?" Noelle, "I don't know. Both, maybe. Some things seem too perfect to be random, and others seem perfect because they're random. My mom used to tell me that when coincidences happen that you couldn't explain, it was the angels playing with you." Noelle, "There are more things on heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy." Who else have we heard say that?
What?
Who else have we heard say that line?
Oh, someone else said that line? Was it inside sealed delivered?
Yes.
Oh, really? What? Wait, say the line again. What was the line again?
There are more things on heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. It was in the pilot movie.
Someone on SSD said that?
Yeah. Oliver.
It had to be Oliver. Yeah, I was
It
gonna
was
say
Oliver.
it had to be Oliver. Yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the only one that would say something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Oh,
reminded
okay.
me of, yeah.
No, I didn't catch that. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
What about you? Do you believe in coincidence?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I don't think I do.
No.
I mean, I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. All right.
Jack has a meeting in Portland with Brian Webb, who is Noelle's ex.
Mm-hmm.
An answer is needed by the next day. And the outcome of what's going on at his current job just makes that decision a little bit easier, because the contract has been terminated for the new school building.
Right. So
And
he
there's no
moved
more
to
funding.
town to build this building, but then they lose the contract So now
Yep.
he accepts his job in Portland, and he's going to
Yep.
move to Portland.
And Grace is not too happy about that.
Right.
What
Right.
were your thoughts on that? Do you think he did the right thing by not telling her?
No, he should have talked to her first.
I agree. He should have
Yeah.
talked to her first.
Yeah, because they just moved to a new town.
Yeah.
And she just started meeting people.
Yes.
Yeah.
While Jack is in Portland, Noelle and Grace go to the cabin, and they're there for the 2-year anniversary of Tony's passing. They have a conversation about Tony and Grace's parents, and Grace pretty much tells Noelle that she is kind of taking her mom's death out on her dad,
Oh.
if I remember correctly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But I think she still says that he's trying his best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now you're talking about that job in Portland,
Hmm.
Jack telling Grace
Oh my
that
goodness,
he
that was
accepted the job. But
yeah,
then Noelle offers Grace to live with her
to stay until
to
the end of the
stay,
school year.
and Jack was not happy about that. He didn't like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Which I
he's a
thought that was
very
nice of Noelle to offer for Grace
it
to
was
stay.
he's a very protective father.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he didn't want to be away from her, I guess.
Yeah. I loved the next day at the cabin. Jack and Noelle have a conversation about memories of Tony, catching fireflies, sledding, card games, and then they decide to make pancakes, which is another one of the 4 foods.
Oh, that's right. He's good at making pancakes. That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
yes. Grace wakes up and she sees the quote from Albert Einstein: energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be changed from one form to another. She decides that will be her topic for the science fair. She wants to do an energy conversion project to honor her mom and Tony, which I thought
Mm-hmm.
was nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually would have liked to see that science project.
Yeah.
If only there had been a little bit more time in the movie. But that's okay.
Mm-hmm. The ending of this movie kind of wrapped
Ye-
up really fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are on the dock blowing bubbles, and Brian shows up.
Mm-hmm.
He has a conversation with Noelle. I thought that was a nice exchange between them when
Mm-hmm.
she said that he was a great father.
Mm-hmm. And that's when she realizes that Jack and her ex-husband know each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We get the time jump after to 8 months later, the opening of the new building, which will be called the Antonia Webb Center for Pediatric Research. It will save the lives of countless children and help to assist their families.
Yeah, now see, this is the ending. Confused me. So Jack stayed in town. He didn't move to Portland for this new job that he accepted, or what? What was
I
happening?
don't think so.
He
Not
stayed in town. So, but who was he working for? Was he working for the ex-husband?
that's what I would be guessing. I'm guessing maybe he funded the building of the project, is what I would
I don't
venture to
know.
say.
I was confused with the whole job thing and that building. And
Yeah,
how that-
it wasn't really explained.
it wasn't
that
explained because
well.
Noelle said at the cabin, "Oh, I have an idea," and then they jumped forward to this showing this.
Yeah,
this
I wish they would have just
ribbon
kept that
cutting of this
scene.
building. They didn't explain what exactly
Yeah.
happened.
I wish they would have kept that scene a little bit longer
Yeah.
to where
Yeah. So I don't
actually
know at the end. I don't
explain.
know who Jack was working for. I have no idea.
I would guess Brian,
Yeah.
because
So
Noelle
Brian
says-
must have been paying him. He must have given him-
Noelle says that Jack was the project manager. So
No. Okay.
that's what I would guess,
Okay.
is Brian was Jack's boss pretty much
Yeah, I guess so. Must be.
in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Noelle quotes Shakespeare, and I think it is a line from the same sonnet that she read earlier on in the movie.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Okay.
Jack, Grace, and Noelle, they are at the house and they let the biodegradable balloons go.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about inflation again. That was
Inflation
funny.
again. Yeah. I
Yeah.
forget. She says, do you know how balloons float? And they
Or
say, and
the
then she
price,
says,
how the price has gone up, I think.
oh, is that what it was? I
Yeah.
thought it was, she asked them if
Yeah.
they knew how balloons float, and they said no.
Or
and she said
maybe it
inflation.
was that. I didn't write it down, but it
Yeah,
was one of
something like
those two
that.
things.
Yeah.
And then Jack and Noelle kiss, and Grace says, I see that. I have eyes in the back of my head.
That's right. And they let off one balloon up in the
One.
air for
Grace's mom.
Tony, and one for Grace's mom.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice little moment to end the movie.
Yeah. So it was a nice ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would you rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, 1 to 10?
Yeah.
I'd give it an 8.
Yeah. I'd give it an 8 too.
Yeah.
It was a solid,
It was good.
solid movie
Yeah.
for 2023.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's my number 1 favorite
No.
for the year, but
No.
it's probably going to be in my top 5.
Yeah.
As of right now, it is.
Mm-hmm.
What would y'all rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Chad. This is always a lot of fun talking with you.
Yeah, it's always fun being
Yes.
here with you.
We'll have to have you back on again sometime.
Okay. All right.
All right, Hallmarkies, I think that wraps up our review of Unexpected Grace. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.